Hi, friends. Welcome back to another episode of Off the Bike. This week, I'm excited to welcome two riders, Chris and John, from our Naperville studio. Their story is one that inspires me so much. Today, we're talking about commitment to each other, to movement, and to the places where you choose to pour your joy. Their story is one that you're going to want to listen to. So buckle up. Here's another episode of Off the Bike. Hi, friends. Welcome back to another podcast episode of Off the Bike. I'm super excited. Today, I have two of our very special riders from Naperville. Please meet John and Chris Fagan. How are you guys?
Great.
Good.
Nice to be here.
I'm excited to have you all. This is going to be a good one. Listen, before we do all these podcast episodes, I always sit down and talk with our guest. And when you all told me your story and Aaron said, Nick, you have to interview them. You have to get them on the podcast. I was super excited. So why don't you tell us just a little bit about you, and then we'll jump into how you found Zenergy and start going all around from there.
Sure. Okay. So let's see. We are in our retirement age at this point. We owned a business for 20 some years. I was in a different career for 20 years before that. We have 4 adult children. We have 8 grandchildren. And I think we consider ourselves kind of active.
Just a little active.
Just a little
active.
Just a little active.
Anything to add, Chris?
Yeah, I raised 4 children, and then I went to work when we bought the dance studios, 2 dance studios, and we've got 2 professional dancers that have been around the world and performing and whatnot. So that was kind of my job, and then and the dance studios for 20 some odd years. So
that takes up a little bit of time in your life.
Yeah,
just a little, right?
Just
a little.
It's a long career.
And you've
good stuff.
Long career, and you've been married over 50 years, correct?
51.
51. Crazy. All right, we're going to dig into all of it, but we might as well start with Zenergy, which was, when we were talking about it, you said there was a day when you all were walking by the studio and you saw the studio. Can you tell me a little bit about that and how you found us?
Well, I personally, I like to ride my bike, and it became, fall and winter, which you can't really ride out there that safely at my age. But anyway, we were walking by Zenergy and saw it. And we have taken spin classes moons ago, maybe 20 years ago or so. Yeah. And I said, I think I'll do this for like 3 months. I'll do it the 3 bad months out of the year, and then I'll, go back to my other stuff, riding outside, and got hooked. Here we are 2 years later.
And you're still here.
2 years later this month.
Still here.
Yeah.
Happy Zenerversary this month, actually. Zenerversary. Can we call it that?
Yeah.
Sure. December the 4th, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
Yeah, this month, just the other day.
Yeah.
John, anything to add to that from when you walked by?
Well, she didn't drag me along. Let's put it that way. It's just, I was like, wow, looks like very interesting space. Yeah, we've been talking. We talked about it. And I said, well, there's an opportunity here I still have my shoes and I still have my riding pants from 20 years ago. We'll see if they fit.
And we checked out a couple other spin places.
Right.
And this was the 3rd one we checked out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we had our phone conversation with Aaron first, and then actually came in and did a 2-on-1 conversation with him. He showed us around, and we said, okay, let's do this.
And we made sure that old people went there, right?
Yeah.
I did. I actually said to him, do old people go here?
And what was his response?
Very cute. He said, oh, we have a 65-year-old. Like,
what were you thinking when he said that?
Well, I knew I was going to be with, we would be in the minority there with, I thought, with being older. But for me, that really gets me going. I love to be around the young people. I think it keeps you young. I think it's a good feeling. They have no idea how much they inspire someone, older to say, yeah, I can do that. I can do this. I can keep doing this. I can keep going. So that's the big thing for me.
Yeah. One of our goals in our life has been to not be on medications, period. And so far, we're there.
Knock on wood.
Yeah.
You're still there.
Every time you go to the doctor, you go, okay, so what are you taking? Nothing. No, come on, really. Nothing. Aspirin's on occasion, but no.
I'm going to Zenergy, right?
I spin.
I take Zenergy.
I spin. So interesting. You said, Chris, that you had you and maybe both of you rode outside some in the warm months, right? And so you wanted to find something maybe for those off months. You had tried a couple studios. You talked to Aaron. You called, and then you came in, talked to Aaron. You took your first class. Can you tell me about what your first class experience was like?
What did we get ourselves into?
Well, you know me, I was hooked. I told Aaron, I said, if I like this, once I do it, I'm going to be obsessive. And that's what happened.
It was the challenge of the first class. It's like anything you do the first time, you're really not that good at it
Well, I think
because you
it,
really don't have the true feel for it.
Sure, sure.
but I think it helped being active and stuff.
Well,
You kind of knew, and we spun before, so we kind of knew what we were doing,
right.
but not that kind of experience. And of course, you know, Aaron, he's such a great teacher. It was easy to get hooked.
And was he your first class?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And you probably walked in and thought, what is this choreography? This kid up here is moving all over the place so fast.
Well, oh yes, I was like, I definitely, I was like, you know, I'm a competitive person. And a healthy competitive.
Yeah,
And man, I try really hard to go as fast as he does or fast as some of those other,
Double time.
you know, the double time and all that. And it's like, I get it. I got it for 10 seconds. Oh my God, I'm dying. And, you know, but it's very motivational. It's great.
yeah, yeah. And you've been writing for now 2 years, is what you just
Years,
said, right?
I'm trying to hit I was trying to hit 500 by the end of the year, but I'm definitely gonna hit 450.
There you go.
Some
There you go.
some vacations got in the way.
Listen, I'm trying to hit 250 by the end of the year, and I've been working for 10 years at it. So we are slowly getting there. And John, how many rides do you have?
I am at 375. So
Wow. Okay.
trying to hit 400. Well, it's going to get close.
Yeah.
Now,
I know the days just like fly by.
Well,
The days fly by.
Yeah.
well, now that the contest is on, if you will, you
The
know,
20 rides in December.
we doubled up yesterday and it's like, all right, let's get up this morning and work out a little bit more.
Yeah. So what, you come for your first class. It sounds like had an amazing experience. Obviously, Aaron opened you with open arms as you told me the whole team has this entire time when we talked on a call a few weeks ago. What's really kept you coming back? Because obviously you enjoy the workout, right? But like what has kept you coming back? And it's not, I also know you're not 5 minutes away from the studio either, as you told me.
I think what brings me back, I know what brings me back is even having owned a studio and that, you know, you have teachers that you can be a great dancer, but not a great teacher, or you could be a good spinner, but not a good in teaching it. And I can say wholeheartedly that every single one of his teachers is fabulous. He did a good job. You did a good job. Whoever did this, they're welcoming every single one of them. They make you feel like you're special. You're not like left behind. They are very engaging with everyone, and they are continually trying to, you know, of course, the positivity without saying, but every single one of them is just great.
And the thing that I'll add to that is the consistency of same, which sounds kind of like boring, but it's not. It's just you walk in, you're welcomed in
By name,
and you see everything is in its place, in a good spot,
clean.
And
You
again,
can't
every
ask
single
for
day. And
more.
you can't say, okay, I'm looking forward to go back again. If I find something out of whack, I got to raise my hand and say, oh, what's wrong?
But we're not
But
finding
I'm
anything.
not finding anything. So,
We'll take that as a compliment.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, you could use the McDonald's theory. Every McDonald's you go into, it's the same setup, the same menu, same kind of attitude you're supposed to have. And so that you expect this, you have the same expectations every time you go in. So our expectation is now the same every time we walk in. And I would think that's the reason that other people do come back for the things we've mentioned about welcoming, by name, inviting, camaraderie, because you see it go on, with
Yeah. Yeah. Well, before I segue into about the business, because I think that's important about you all owning the business, I obviously have to shout out the entire team because you hit the nail on the head. I mean, they are incredible, not just at Naperville, at all the studios, but Naperville is, I mean, everyone knows your name. Everyone probably knows what's happening in your life because we love to talk with people. We know what you're we know. So for all the team that's listening to this, huge props and shout out to everybody. Huge props.
Huge.
Well, I have to then give you the kudos on that because it follows from the top. It's the
I
tone,
appreciate that.
the tonality, and expectations.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you. I really do. I actually think that is the perfect segue into what I wanted to talk about, which was owning the dance studio. Because one of the things you all bring a different perspective into kind of the community aspect, because you talked about on our call about how that was something that you really wanted to bring into the dance studio, knowing people by name, being a clean and welcoming environment. Can you talk a little bit about the dance studio experience and kind of how you did that, I guess?
Well, our son, who is going to be 51, he started dancing when he was 4. We put him into dance because he had unbelievable rhythm every time a song came on and stuff. And, long story short, he made it his profession. He was one of 20 out of 6,000 that was chosen to dance at the White House, President Clinton.
Wow.
So that was quite an honor. And John traveled a lot for his business. He was in cable television, and the only way we got him to where he needed to be was through all of his points flying
Yeah.
around. So he performed all around the world. He still is doing it, and that was the segue into the 2 studios were selling, and they approached us and said, "We'd like to see if you'd like to take these over." And he said yes without telling me. Came home and said that. And so for the first 2 years, I was like running it, but I was a stay-at-home mom. I mean, I got married at 18. I had my kids. I was a stay-at-home mom. What did I know? But I was pushed right into it. And it was like having kids. These teachers are my kids, and I got to take care of them. And,
I
so
think, yeah. And we were fortunate in the respect that the person that we're buying from had things set in terms of structure, which is great. When we came into it, I was in a corporate environment for 20 years, like I said. And so what I add to it was policy, marketing, how we're going to do this, set up a thing for the instructors who, since we don't dance and we were only doing operations, expectations. Like, you need to show up on time. You need to be dressed properly. You need to be welcoming. I want you to be friendly, but I don't want you to be their friend. Those kinds of things. And it permeated back to the kids wanted to come. They look forward to it. And I think the other thing is, and it's also elemental into Zenergy, is leave your problems outside the door. Come in and let loose, because you're going to leave it here and then you're going to go back to it. So that's pretty much, even with the teachers, is like, leave it at home. It's a different day. Your problems are not everybody else's. So move on.
At one point we had 1,000 students, and we would
Yeah.
put on a Thursday night show, a Friday night show, and 4 shows on Saturday. And I look back at that and go, how did we do that? So now our son took it over 5 years ago. He bought the one studio, another teacher bought the other one. And so he's continuing, and he's getting older. His body his body hurts.
Yeah.
He's still performing, but his act's a little different. He puts in some dialogue in between his tapping. He's a
Yeah.
he's a tap master, and his sister is more the jazz. Yeah, so he's taken over. We're real proud of him. He's doing a good job.
That's
And
amazing.
again, the thing set in motion, he still has. So he's tweaked it, which is great. This is what you expect, but it's the same scenario. I just want to hit you back on the names for a moment. The thing that I've get a big kick out of. One of the things I always had an issue with is there's too many Susies, Sallys, and Jonies. So I made it a point to welcome them by their last name, because that was easier. They all had different last names. And in turn, it was like, hello, Miss Smith. They said, hello, Mr. Fagan. So created a little bit of a courtesy and respect thing that went on back and forth
Sure.
with kids. So
I love that.
was fun in that. Yeah.
I also think you hit on it so eloquently. I think it hits on the power of community and building spaces where people really connect with others. For you all, you use the dance studio as the vehicle to bring people together. And for us, we use the bike as a vehicle to bring people together. And certainly you're coming in that case for dance, and us for the workout, but you're kind of coming for the workout and leaving with something maybe so far beyond that. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. Yes.
You can tell him how.
Well, me, you mean me being negative or what?
Not negative. It's
Negative.
like, it's
I'm a hard sell.
philosophical, heartwarming things that you could find or be said to. And she's like, oh, that's a bunch of crap.
It's not
Yeah.
fuzzy. I just,
No, she.
well, you know what? Maybe it is because when I look at the teachers, even during COVID, when they had to do it out of their house and they had to be a friggin' clown out there going, yay, we're having fun. And it's hard. What those teachers are doing is hard, but they have to, you know,
Right.
I don't know.
That's why I
But
think you guys
it
bring
definitely,
The
I think
uplifting part of the Zen, of the energy,
it got,
yeah.
the Zen got to
it
her,
got,
which was good.
Think that's what makes having you all on the podcast and a part of the community so special is that you understand the other side of it from being in business. And while you didn't run a cycling studio, you worked with instructors, you worked with trainers essentially who no matter what they were going through in their daily lives had to show up and take people on an experience. And so now that you're on the other side of that, you're like,
yeah. And I think through the way they do it, it's energy and whatnot, really does. I really feel that they really care. They absolutely care about their client.
Yeah.
They care
Yeah.
about everyone who comes through that door.
It's honest. That's the
It's
thing.
honest and genuine, and that's so refreshing. And so, yeah.
Yeah. So you're still writing. You don't live close to the studio. So tell us about where you live and why, you obviously talked about why you like Zenergy, but what is keeping you coming back with that drive? And it's a challenge month.
Yeah, well, I have my challenge on from last year.
Oh, yeah, you do.
Well, what's interesting is our scheduling of what we do runs around the scheduling that we figure out for writing. So, for instance, if somebody said, well, hey, how about if we get together at 5:00 and we'll go, well, not at 5. We can see you at 7. So we can write and get home and take a shower. I would say it's worth 22 minutes
Well, the thing
on a good day.
and we like to work out. I mean,
Right.
yeah, I just love to work out. I mean, before I go to Zenergy every morning, I box, 5 days a week, but I can't wait to get to Zenergy. And sometimes if I'm bored or whatever, because I don't like to sit around a lot and watch TV or whatever. Sometimes he knows I'll go back at night or we'll both go back at night,
Yeah.
So I think you have to you like
Yeah.
to work out and stuff. And when you find that thing that does it, you're hooked.
It's just, as we said earlier, I said, the challenge of it, the challenge of the very first ride, and you couldn't get your leg up past the bottle holder. And now it's like I can bend my leg across the bar and do a nice little stretch, which is great. So each time is like another challenge factor of what working towards to feel better.
Yeah.
That's really what it means. It's a new high.
Inspirational, yeah.
So you like to go.
Sure.
You don't want to
Sure.
not go. When we've taken our little side trips, we come back and said, oh, this is going to hurt. Oh, I missed it, but it's going to hurt. I mean, we'd look forward to that again.
Yeah.
So the ride getting there has not really ever been an issue.
Well,
it has more to do with
where you're
scheduling.
going and you know
Yeah.
what you're getting, and it's worth it.
Yeah.
It's going to
So
take
now-
me half an hour. It's going to take me half hour, 40 minutes, whatever.
Right.
So now, John, how does Chris have more rides than you? She snuck off and done a few without you. Is that how it's happened?
There was a point, this goes back last year, I was having a muscular issue in my one leg and I had to go to therapy and blah, blah, blah. So my goal then was we were going to go off to Greece. I had to get to walk because we were going to do a lot of walking. So that was me being out of commission for a good 45 days. And there wasn't a moment where she said, I'm going to go. I'm going to take 2. And so by the time we got done with all of it, she's like 30 some rides ahead of me. And there's no way I can catch up.
Yeah.
If I try
Yeah.
to go,
Well, and if he gets close to catching up, then I got to get
Then you're gonna keep going.
yeah.
You're gonna keep going.
So that's how that worked out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I know you kind of ride all over the place, but what times do you typically ride the most? Is it really just kind of a hodgepodge of everything?
We like the morning. We do like the morning.
We've tried the 6:00
That's a tough one.
sporadically. That's a tough one. The evenings, late in the day, are fine. The 5:00, 6:00,
4 and 5 is probably our thing,
our thing.
but the mornings are our favorite.
Get in, get it done, and have an amazing day.
Yeah, whenever we've done formalized workouts before, I would always try to be in the morning because that gives you the rest of the day to be so energized to just meet the day and then crash,
Yeah.
go to bed.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Take a nap or go to bed early.
Right.
Go to bed early.
That's right.
You told me on our call, you said that, and you kind of already talked about this, like the younger generation writing, but you talked about being the quote unquote grandparent role in the studio. And I laughed at you on the call. Can you talk to me a little bit about like how it feels to be that role, I guess, in the studio? And you said that you gave yourself that title, not me.
Yeah, we did. We did. You know what? I embrace it.
Yeah.
I am that type that, I get up and put my stuff on. I don't care what I look like, just go. And I don't, and it doesn't bother me, even when I went to a health club or something, someone look at this old person doing this or that, because for my age, I think I do really well. And that's the one thing I'm proud of myself. And he knows I don't say too many good things about myself, but I love being it. And like I said, they have no idea how they inspire us. So that's why I love being back there going, this, mind this.
Yeah, if I were going to ever think of what should encourage the younger group would be, your parents could be here too. You should encourage your parents to come in.
In fact, one time I sit in the back row, and I sit in the back row really because I can see better. I'm short and I can see the teacher, and what I stare at are the teacher's legs because I'm really trying to keep up and do what they're doing. And this gentleman next to me, young gentleman, we get done with the class. He goes, now don't take this wrong, but you're a pretty good writer for your age. I said, I'll take it. Thank you. I'll take it. I'm not, offended.
No.
That's great. I got to give it to him. It was nice of him to say something.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times, people can be, they're just the old people or whatever, but we don't feel like that there. Everybody's very nice. And because we are so regular, you see all the other regular young ones, right, and they're all very nice. We have that in common. We all show up.
We show up. We show up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's maybe, you said you had tried a few other studios, but maybe that is what, I guess I'm putting these words in your mouth. Maybe that's what made Zenergy different for you, is that you do show up, and you do show up as a community, and every time the experience you're going to get. I don't know if you want to talk about some of the other experiences without naming studios, obviously.
We used to take, back then it used to take us, 45 minutes to get there, because we were
living in LaGrange, and we took a place that was, yeah.
There it was like, oh, this one isn't so good. I don't want to go at 5 o'clock because of this one or that one, or, so they had a favorite. Had one that was the person of the studio, which of course we've clung on to, but I don't find that here. Yeah. And I would say it if I did.
Yeah.
And I can honestly say, how cool is this? No matter if you really like this one teacher and you can only make this time, but I really like him. Like one of the teachers, Jack, we don't get to go to his class that often because of a time element. We had to go 2 times in the last week.
Yeah.
And it was so cool because I loved it. He's just, everybody has their own style, and I'll be damned, they all got good.
Listen, that's the benefit of a challenge, is we make you go to other classes that you might not typically get to go to.
Yeah.
We know what we're doing there.
I know.
Sure. The Beastmaster.
But yeah, he gave a great class. Yeah. So it's just a good experience.
I think what's not in common is when we were either looking around or the one that we were at weren't as welcoming, weren't clean, weren't friendly-ish, if you will. So our selfishness was, well, we just want to ride. We'll just be like in and out, off you go. I don't need to know anything about anybody.
You went for the workout. You went for the workout.
Exactly right.
But this is definitely more of a family feel.
Yeah.
This is a great, great feeling. Yeah.
Right. And I do, it's always interesting when you say what's the accepting fact of that we're there and we're in the back. And so when you're in there initially coming through, the new people are going, who's that guy?
Like scanning the room to see who's around.
Oh.
Did we tell them what Aaron did that one time? We were in the back.
Tell it.
Yeah.
We were in the back. And, we're riding. It was very fun. We're riding, whatever. And he noticed somebody in our back row and said, oh, I forget her name. I don't know, Mary or Susie, whatever. You're such a great rider. You deserve to be in the front row. You got to come up in the front row. Well, there were another couple who was in their late 50s.
Yeah.
Maybe, and we all went, oh, like we don't deserve to be in the front row. So what we did is the next class, we all booked a bike right in front of him. And he laughed. And as we were going out that day, we all were saying bye to him. He's like, really, I really didn't. I said, open mouth, put in foot. Okay.
So, and then the four of us is, we can't do this again. This is cooler. We can't be.
Yeah. You're like, man, why did we do this? We
Why
missed
did
the
we do
back
this?
row.
Now we really got to know, So
Yeah.
it was cute.
Yeah.
It was cute
fun.
because he's the greatest.
I love that. We're releasing this podcast in January, and I think, in January, it's the start of a new year. A lot of people are looking to try new things, get in new habits. Things change people use it as a resolution time. Being there for now 2 years, seeing all these people come into the studio, what would you say to someone in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s that is maybe they're intimidated by Zenergy? What would you say now that you've been there for so long?
There was a young lady that came in, was taking her first class. This was, I don't know, 5 months ago or something. And Aaron was showing her around and whatever. And he said, and this is Chris and John, and they've been here for a while and whatever. And I said, you're going to love it. You're going to take it and you'll never leave. That's what I said. I said, you're just going to love it. So after her class, I said, well, and she goes, yeah, that was really fun. That was really fun. So I would just tell them, you're never going to leave. I don't know how you could. I don't know how you could. Where are you going to go? I don't know.
I think there's trying to suggest to somebody resolution in the new year, going, if you've done all these other things, how about you try something different? How about something that you can do outside, but actually more intense inside, but you don't have to be the champion to start. It's a good way to start.
And that's the other thing they really do well, is they don't make you feel like you need to keep up with the neighbor. They say, you do you. This is just as effective as this or that. If you need to take a break, take a break. You need water, take water. They make you feel like, well, they're not going to be looking at me like, oh, boy, you're being lazy or you're slow or you're this. They're very encouraging about you be you.
That's why it's best that it's in the dark. Quite no, and I mean that because you're so focused on what's in the light. Your attention is to the instructor and not what's left, right, or behind. It blocks everything else out. So you're focused on you, which I think is a great effect. Versus the clubs we've been at, it's bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. You see everything, and you go, ooh.
Yeah. Well, listen, from another fellow back row rider, because I still ride in the back row, because I like to take time to just ride. I love it back there. So anybody that wants to come and join us in the back row, we are back there, and we will open our arms to you anytime.
Yeah, but just because you're in the dark and in the back doesn't mean they don't see you from the front.
That's right. We can see you better in the back because you're elevated, actually. But that's the party row. So you've been married 51 years. You've been riding at Zenergy 2 years. What do you want people to take from this podcast episode when they listen to it? And people are going to listen to it from all over the place, from around the Naperville studio, from our Pittsburgh studio, Morgantown studio. What's something you want them to take from this?
That you can really do anything if you put your mind to it. And it's okay to feel nervous at first or whatever, but walk in and try something different and keep moving. Keep moving so that you have a happier life. I don't know.
The other thing would be, one of the things I see today, unfortunately, is lack of a commitment, kind of like in and out. Well, this is good for today, but not for tomorrow. I think someone should look at it in terms of every time you go, you need to get something new out of it. And that should renew your commitment to going. I mean, let's face it, 2 years, we've had all the instructors. Why do we keep going? It's because part of it's a renewal for us to say, here's my challenge for today. I'm feeling a little sluggish. Maybe I need to, get going or whatever. It's a mindset thing too. So it doesn't matter what your age is. It might depend a little bit on your physicality, just because it would take time to ramp it up. But it shouldn't be a detriment to, come on, man, just step into it and don't be afraid. Just face it. If we're the old people, we walked into a young environment going, it's like going into the wrong neighborhood. What's going on here? But again, you get past it saying, well, this is for me. And then you get everything else.
You get so much more out of it than just the workout.
And
you do.
Yeah. Because even
at Zenergy,
right? One other tidbit. So our daughter is, a dance teacher, and she's most active, more than we've ever been. We're good. We did a good job raising them to be active all the time. So we brought her to class as a guest, and she walked out saying, Jesus, Marie, this is hard. I had a hard time keeping up, but I would come back again to do it.
And it was in that moment you both were like, see, told you.
Yeah. Proud of the old folks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I promise when it's not an Arctic blast up there, I'm coming to take a ride and I'm sitting in that back
In
row
the back row with us.
and we're all going to party.
that's
And
right.
we're all going to party. We're all going to party.
Whoop it up.
Whoop it up.
Let's do it. Awesome. I wanted to add one other thing. My favorite part about the Zenergy story is listening to stories just like this, because I think, we're going to have a lot of new people listening to this podcast, and you just spoke so well to those people that may be questioning or intimidated or sometimes even a little fearful. My favorite part about the Zenergy story is not just does the team have you, the instructors, the front desk, but other riders have you. Other riders are there, and they are going to, just like you just said so many times in this podcast, you're going to open your arms to them and welcome them in. And I think that is the power of Zenergy, is seeing these people. It's so inspirational, I think is how I would say it.
Yes.
So
And
inspirational.
the other thing is that it's not just a few, there's not just a few regulars. It seems as though there's more than a few, you know what I mean? It's much wider in Zenergy than for me to go to another place where they're in it kind of in and out, and you have just maybe a handful, which I think make it feel more like a family, because we're all doing it. We're all there, not just two of us or three or five,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they're definitely getting to a lot of people.
I love it. That's why we're there. I appreciate you more than you'll ever know. And I cannot wait to come up there and ride that back row with you. I'm not going to let Aaron make us come to the front row. We're sitting in the back row for this one. And if you are in and around the Naperville studio, you have to go say hi to Chris and John. You got to go say hi to the rest of the team. And anything else to add?
Bike 27 and 28.
27 and 28.
So in other words, don't book bike 26 and 20 or 27 and 28.
Apologize. Yes, I didn't mean to take your bike. It's okay. My name's not on it. We're good.
All right. Well, thanks, guys. I appreciate you. And to everyone listening, see you on the next podcast.
Thank
Bye,
you.
friends.
Thank you.
Thank you.